Welcome back to Chapter 1, Backstage View or the File tab View, Part 4. In this section, this is our last tutorial. We will be looking at the Options feature on the Backstage View, which is located at the bottom. When you select it, it will open up your Word Options dialog box. And on this dialog box, you will have various tabs that you can select. We will start with the General tab. On the General tab, be familiar with your Enable Live Preview. Be familiar with how to personalize your Microsoft Office copy. Also be aware of how you can change your Office background, your Office theme. And last, be familiar with how to open email attachments and other uneditable files in Reading View. Our second tab is our display. On this tab, normally show all formatting marks are by default turned off. When you turn this on, it allows you to have your formatting marks automatically open on all documents. Also, too, by default, print background color and images in Word is by default turned off. If you have background color and images that you want to print off, you need to make sure that you select that. And then you would click on OK. The next one is our proofing. In our proofing, by default, our hide spelling and grammar errors are normally turned off. So when we look at this, we have when correcting spelling in Microsoft Office program, it will ignore words in uppercase, that ones that contain numbers. So it speeds up your actual spell check. These can be turned on or off depending on your preference. When correcting spelling and grammar errors in Word, you want to check spelling as you type, mark grammar errors you type. So those are normally set on by default. Then down at the bottom, you have your hide spelling errors and the hide grammar errors. What does this do? When you are typing up a paper on your computer, you do a spell check. On that computer, you will use the spell check dictionary. This will check your document, and when you are done, all of those little lines that mark your errors will disappear. However, when you go to a new document, a new computer, and open it up, you will see that those spelling errors might reappear. That's because every computer has different dictionaries that are included in Microsoft Office, depending on the version. So if you are trying to send a letter out to a potential employer or to a teacher, you might want to turn on your hide spelling and grammar errors. What that will do is after you do your spell check in your document and you know that your errors are all corrected, by turning these on, when you send this to your teacher or you send it to a potential employer, when they open it up on their computer, these spelling errors will not be displayed. So that way you're not calling attention to mistakes in your document that really aren't mistakes. It's just they just aren't recognized by the spell check on that particular computer. The next part is our autocorrect options. Autocorrect is when you are typing up a document and you make, like you spelled the TEH, Microsoft automatically fixes that for you. That's autocorrect. Now, how your computer auto checks is up to you. So I'm going to click on autocorrect options and I'm going to type in, I've already done this, so I need to get rid of this. Delete that. Okay, so when I go into my autocorrect options, replace text as you type. This is a great feature, especially if you're typing FFA, FBLA, any NHS. Whenever you're typing that up, if you type in FBLA and then I want to replace it with Future Business Leaders of America, and then I click Add, and I click OK. When I go into my document, I'll get rid of this. When I go into my document, I'm going to scroll up somewhere, and then I type in FBLA and then hit my space bar. You notice that it automatically changes it to Future Business Leaders of America. That is great because then that saves me time when I'm typing and I don't make as many errors. Just remember though that when you type it in, that you make sure it is spelled correctly in your autocorrect feature. So make sure it's spell checked here correctly. If you go to exceptions, there are exceptions and you have 3 tabs up here. The one I want you to focus on is this initial cap exception. I'm going to delete that out. And what that does is if you look at the actual example up here, whenever you have 2 letters at the beginning that are capitalized, then you can put them in here and then the autocorrect will not mark it as absent. For example, IDS, you notice the IDs, the first 2 parts are capitalized. Well, I can add it in here, then whenever I type that in, it will not mark it as misspelled. But I can also put in our examples, you're going to be typing in geometrics. So it's a capital G, capital M. So I click OK. Okay, okay, and then okay. So normally that type of word would be marked as misspelled, but because I put it in as an exception, notice that it is not coming up as being misspelled. All right, I'm going to go back here to our options. So we have covered the exception rule. We have also talked about replace text as you go. So now let's look at our save feature. Your auto save or auto recovery. What that does is normally this is set on 10 minutes for most computers. So Microsoft will automatically save your document for every 10 minutes, which means that if your Word document crashes or somehow your computer gets shut off, every 10 minutes Microsoft is saving that document. So that way it saves your document if there's an issue. I usually put mine on every 5 minutes because I want 10 minutes is a little bit too long because my computer here at home, because of the internet, might freeze. So I change it every 5 minutes. So that's a really good feature to make sure you have included or know how to change. Now, when you are typing up a report or a document and you find these really cool fonts, like Google fonts or wherever else you can get your fonts, and you put them in your document, as long as that you open that report on your computer, those fonts will be there. However, when you go to a different computer, like come to school and you do it at school, you might find that you lose those special features or those special fonts. That's because they are not included in the font selection for that particular computer. But there's a way around this. If you click on embed fonts in the file, what this happens is once you embed your fonts in your document, then no matter what computer you open your document on, then those fonts, those specialized fonts will still show up. The next one we're going to look at is our advanced feature. And the advanced feature is separated by this gray shadowings. This is your edit option. You have cut, copy, and paste. We're going to go down to our print option. When you are running off projects that you have and they're just rough drafts, you can click on use draft quality, which means you will use less ink, but the quality of your document will not be as good. So when you're ready to print off your final document, you can turn that off, and then you'll get a much better printed document. Also, when you have print in background selected, this allows you to make corrections while your document is printing. Then also too, you can also change the print page order. So right now mine prints off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can reverse that and have it print off 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's pretty much the feature that you need to be aware of for the advanced feature. And so now we have covered pretty much all of our tabs on our Word options box. I'm going to cancel out of here. That's pretty much what's left for Chapter 1. Remember, you can also use your handout on Chapter 1 as well as watch these videos. I hope you have a great time working on your exercises. Thank you for watching.